How's it going? Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. This is our bi-weekly basketball show as we get ready to head into week 9 for the NBA. It's just going to be me this week because Mr. Nameco over here possibly broke his ankle playing laser tag. That's right. Not only was he playing laser tag as a grown man, which, hey, it's fun. I've done it. It's a good time. But he hurt himself. He's probably out maybe 1 to 2 weeks, but we'll check back. Hopefully he won't be out too long. But let's get into some tips and advice. We've been getting a lot of questions about what to do with Noah, who's probably going to be out for a couple months, and Troy Murphy, who just can't get out of the doghouse. Here's the thing with those guys. When playing and when healthy, they're double-double guys. They're great guys to have on your team. It kind of depends on your league. If it's a weekly league and you can just stick them on your bench and just wait them out and it's not really going to hurt you that much, we say definitely do it. Make sure you have these guys for when it counts the most. A daily setup league, it's a little harder because you're constantly just losing games week in and week out because they're just sitting on your bench, not giving you any production. If you're up towards the top, wait them out. But if you're just digging a hole, maybe wait until some trade rumors come around, or maybe give Noah a couple weeks and then just try to trade him, try to get anything for him, because the last thing you want to do is dig too big of a hole to dig out of. Moving on, we got a couple of form questions here, a couple of trade questions. First one comes from Chicago123. Wants to know if he should give up Eric Gordon and Andre Blatch and get Jason Richardson, LaMarcus Aldridge, and JaVale McGee in return. This is a tough one, and I looked at the rest of your team. You have a solid team, so McGee actually isn't that much better than anyone on your team, if at all better. So it's really just a 2 for 2. You throw McGee out. And Eric Gordon and Andre Blatch, I think they're the younger guys out of this group. And I just think they have bigger upsides than Richardson and Aldridge. I do like Aldridge a little bit more than Blatch, but I like Gordon way more than Richardson. I think you pass on this one because McGee's just kind of a throw-in, and I just don't really see him as really a big upgrade from the guy you would drop on your team. I say pass on this one. We got another one from Two Nizzles. He actually already did this trade, but he wants to know if it was a good one, and I thought it was a good one, so I wanted to talk about it. He traded Gilbert Arenas for Joe Johnson. I think this is a really good trade for him. Yes, it's going to hurt until Joe Johnson comes back, but I think once he does, and if Joe Johnson can be healthy, I think this is a great trade for him. It is a bit of a gamble, but once John Wall's healthy out there with the Wizards, Gil is just going to be kind of okay. I still think he's going to put up decent numbers, but I would much rather have a healthy Joe Johnson. It's a good gamble. Hopefully he can come back and produce for you. Let's move into the waiver wire. We got a ton of guys to talk about, so let's just plow through these. Here's a few guys who think you should add in pretty much all leagues. The first one, DeMarcus Cousins, still only owned in 70% of leagues. One of the major problems with him this year has just been foul trouble. If he can get that under wraps, he's going to be a double-double threat and a great guy to have on your team. Next, Johnny Flynn, only on the 25% of leagues. Kind of surprised to see that. I don't think his numbers are going to blow you away, but I don't think 15 and 7 would be asking too much. We like Johnny Flynn if you need some point guard depth. And Terrence Williams, he got a new home out there with Houston. Only on the 35% of leagues. He's still going to be coming off the bench. But if this guy plays 25 to 30 minutes a game, look for him to fill up the stat sheet. All right, let's take a look at some guys in deeper leagues. First guy, Spencer Hall, is only on a 25% of leagues. Looks like he's the starting center out there now with Philadelphia. Not much competition for him. He could be a decent guy to have, decent role player, blocks, and rebound guy. Next, Greg Monroe, the rookie out there with the Pistons, only on in 10% of leagues. He's starting to get a little bit more consistent minutes. We don't think he's going to blow you away with his numbers, but he could be maybe an 8-8, 9-9 guy and be a decent role player for you. Brandon Bass is next, only on 20% of leagues. They've been playing around with the starting lineup out there in Orlando, and Bass has actually been part of that starting lineup, and he's played well. Who knows? He could end up landing a starting gig and maybe play close to 30 minutes a game. Moving on, Derek Favors, only on a 25% of leagues. This rookie is only going to get more involved out there on that Nets offense. Look for him, his minutes and production to keep going up. Moving on, Drew Gooden, only on a 55% of leagues. He's back from his injury, coming off of a monster game. He's going to play decent minutes. His numbers are going to be all over the place, but at the end of the day, he's going to have pretty decent numbers. Last guy we're going to talk about to add in deeper leagues is Robin Lopez, only on in 50% of leagues. We love this guy coming into the season. He's fresh off an injury, had a decent game his first game back. Look for him to build on that game and continue to improve. We got a few short-term solutions for you. First one, Nate Robinson. With Rondo out, Robinson's going to have great short-term value. We like him as a short-term ad. Same with Bayless. Calderon is hurt out there. We think Calderon will probably take back over the job, but Bayless has played really well. You might just want to pick him up just to see what happens. Only owned in about 30% of leagues. Moving on, Taj Gibson owned in about 50% of leagues. He's going to be getting a majority of the minutes now that Noah's banged up. Next guy, Ty Lawson, only on 25% of leagues. Billups is out for about a week with a wrist injury. And I actually think Billups might get shipped out of town. I think Lawson could be a long-term pickup. I really like him as a pickup now. And just hold on to him for as long as you can to see if Billups gets traded. And a couple guys to add to your watch list is Chris Douglas Roberts, only on 5% of leagues. They've been playing around with their starting lineup out there in Milwaukee as well. He's in there right now, playing pretty decent. He could have some value moving forward. And one other guy, Nick Young, he doesn't do much more than score, but if he continues to get minutes out there with the Wizards, he could be a great scorer, maybe even average close to 20 points a game. So that's it for this bi-weekly show. Brent and I will be back in a couple weeks to do the basketball, if we can keep him out of spraining his ankle playing laser tag. Until then, we'll see you in the forums.